4 minutes until we have to take our first break. But from what I read, the state, had a weak case. And you said that the lawyer told you they had evidence that they did not have. What exactly did they have? And was it only Davontae's statement, alleged statement, I would say?
Basically nothing. They came in my house without a search warrant. They claimed that they found a pair of pants that had gun residue on it. Davontae's hands was clean from no gun residue. They wined Davontae's face. It was no residue in there. A gun was never discovered. About 8 months after that, another guy by the name of Bill Proctor have a project called Proven Innocent. He called me. He said, "Miss Sanford," he said, "your son is innocent." He said, we have Detroit hitmen that have confessed these crimes that say that your son was nowhere there, and he gave us his name and other associates' names that did the crime.
Okay, before we get to Vincent Smothers, which is the name of the Detroit hitman, I just want to reiterate some things. So you said that they claimed they found a pair of pants that had gun residue, but he was tested, Davontae was tested, and that came back negative. He didn't have any gun residue on his person.
Yes, sir. Was
there any DNA evidence connecting him to the house where the crime occurred or the murders occurred?
No, sir.
Was the gun actually that they said was used in the crime, that they tried to connect to Davontae, was that entered into evidence?
No, sir, it wasn't.
So they basically didn't have anything?
No, sir.
Except for Davontae's statement, which I feel like, from a legal standpoint, was illegally or inappropriately obtained.
Yes.
Wow. This is just very, very troubling. Again, I know this happens a lot in the United States and justice system, but I never cease to be amazed at how far individuals will go just to obtain a conviction. It just seems to me like a lot of these prosecutors don't care if they had a right person or not. They just want somebody to put in prison. And to me, that's not, that's not only an injustice to the wrongfully accused and the wrongfully imprisoned, but it's an injustice to the victims' families. Those 4 people who were murdered, their families deserve the truth, and the real killer deserves to be behind bars, even though in this case he's already behind bars. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and and I tell everybody that it's not only about my son. It's my heart goes out to the families that that the people will kill. What kind of justice they have? They don't have justice with the wrong person in jail. You don't get closure like that. You owe these people more than that. They have lost someone. Not only me, my son is still alive. I go through what I go through with my son, but my heart also goes out to the victim's family, because you're not giving them closure, because you're just trying to close the case to just say y'all close the case. That's not fair to them.
No, it's not. We are going to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Black Talk Radio News and Views. My name is Scotty Reed, and tonight we have as our guest Miss Sanford, who is the mother of Davontae Sanford, who is just sharing her son's tragic story with us, and we hope that it's going to have a positive ending. We hope that he will be released, and when we come back from the other side of the break, we're going to talk about this Detroit hitman and some of the steps that the public can take in assisting Davontae in getting a new trial. We'll be back right after this break. It's Vincent Smothers. Let me just tell the audience, he had already confessed to killing at least 7 people, including the wife of a Detroit police sergeant, and he has admitted, according to some reports I read, to being responsible for those September 2007 alleged drug house killings on Runyon. So how did you come about this information? I mean, did this guy hear about Davontae's case and caught a conscience and came for it? How did this all come about?
Well, I know the first time I heard about it, I had Bill Proctor had contacted me from Channel 7. He had a project called Proven Innocence. At the beginning, he wouldn't give me Smothers' name. So the next day, the Free Press came out, and they interviewed me. The Free Press told me who the guy was. I never knew the guy, never seen Vincent Smothers or nothing. So as it started coming out, they told me that a guy named Vincent Smothers, which was Detroit hitman, had confessed to the crime and had gave up his associated names, who was there to do it. It was a hit, that it was a drug house. So when Vincent Smothers did go in with the police, and they questioned Smothers, I retired as a Detroit police officer for homicide, and he came to court at the beginning of the appeal, and he indicated that he asked Smothers if Smothers know Sanford, which was Davontae, and Smothers told him no, that they had the wrong guy in jail, the wrong child basically in jail. He didn't know Sanford, and Sanford was not there at the time. I started doing research also on Smothers at the time. That's when I found out that Smothers was known for numbers of killings and that he was a Detroit hitman, and he had killed the police officer wife. And as I started doing my research, then different associates started coming up with Smothers. More and more, you know, news articles was coming up with Smothers. Mm-hmm. And it just, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, I'm like, so this is why they got my son in jail. So Smothers did come to court for my son last year in July the 21st. Smothers had 2 court appearances for my son. He pled the 5th, but on his last court day, he took the 5th, but he gave his former lawyer, which is Gabby Silvers, rights to testify for him on what that he had mentioned far as the Smothers, far as the Runyon Street killing, and the judge that we're dealing with, which is Judge Sullivan, he denied it. And Smothers said because he couldn't basically be in prison looking like a snitch, and he couldn't tell on nobody. So before this happened, Smothers told them that if he was never charged with the killings, but if he got on the stand to tell what happened with the killings, that he will also do that. Wayne County prosecutors, they denied it. Maybe last year around this time, it got up in the air that the prosecutors gave Smothers a lighter sentence. He was charged with 8 counts of second-degree murder. He got 50 to 100 years. Right there, that puzzled me, because my son was charged with 4 counts of second-degree murder. He got 37 to 90 years. So I'm like, wow. So it was also told to me that they told Smothers that if he testified to help my son, he will be charged with the Runyon Street killing. But if he doesn't testify and help my son, he will never be charged, and Davontae will be the only one charged. So there, I was very, very upset about that, because I'm saying, why keep the wrong person in jail and not charge the right person who did the killing? So it's just a lot of injustice that's going on with the Wayne County Prosecutor Office and also Detroit Police, to the fact that sometimes it just upsets me so bad, because I don't understand the system. I thought that the police and the prosecutors are supposed to be here to protect us. This is not protecting us. I thought they took an oath to protect us.
To protect and serve is what...
And serve, but what kind of oath is this, though? That you covering up the real killer, and you let an innocent child just rotting in jail.
Well, unfortunately, in many of these types of cases where you have a wrongful conviction and other wrongdoing by the authorities, what they're trying to do is protect themselves from potential civil lawsuits. And, you know, as you mentioned, they violated Davontae's rights as a juvenile. You know, they questioned him. They, you know, coached him. Well, I would basically say, from what I've heard, that they wrote the statement for him and just told him, you know, what was in the statement. And